Welcome back to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, everybody. I am your host, Julie Jester Gayhart, and I am excited to let you all know I am at my favorite spot at my local nature preserve, recording this episode. If you all are familiar with the podcast and you listened to the 10 episodes from Jester's Redemption Section Hike, which is now its own podcast, by the way, you all will know I am up at the well, which is at the top of the local nature preserve next to the huge dead tree that means so much to me. And this episode I'm getting ready to record means so much to me. So I thought, why not go back to the well and record the entire episode there? It's been a while since I've been here. It's a little grown up. All the leaves are in, and y'all, the berries are out on the bushes. So it is really cool to be back up here again. And today I am recording this episode titled, What Happens When You Seek to Do More, which is going to be a Q&A episode specifically about the Seek to Do More program. As you all know, my start date for the Seek to Do More program and one-on-one coaching from James Appleton started January 1st, 2024, and I just hit 5 months, 148 days on June the 1st, 2024, and I am really excited about that. And I totally don't feel like the person that I was on January 1st. So let's roll through these questions. I've got about 6 questions that I'm going to answer here on this episode. I put a post out on Instagram, over on Facebook as well, and I got about 15 or 16 questions. And what I did was consolidate them because a lot of them were very similar. So the very first one, and the one that was asked the most, was this. The question is, what is the Seek to Do More program? So instead of me rambling off what the Seek to Do More program is, I went to James's website, seektodomore.com, and I got the official written answer from the website, and this is how it reads. It's a daily system that strengthens all of you, your physical fitness, your mental toughness, and your spiritual well-being, all crucial areas in your journey towards relentless self-improvement. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the official definition of Seek to Do More. And in addition to that, those of us that are following the program, there are 7 daily commitments. And those 7 daily commitments are as follows. You have a physical commitment for number 1. Number 2, hitting your protein and water goals for the day. Number 3, reading. Number 4, education. Number 5, a spiritual component. Number 6, a hobby or a passion. And then number 7, relationships. So within the Seek to Do More program, which is really setting yourself at a set of standards and living by them. That's really how I look at the Seek to Do More program. And the 7 daily commitments. Again, physical, your protein and water, your reading, your education, spiritual, hobby, and relationships. And hitting those daily goals every single day. So when you see postings on Instagram or on Facebook, or you're in the Seek to Do More Facebook page and we say day 148, day 149, what that means is we have gone 148 days of hitting our 7 daily commitments. And that is the most powerful part of the Seek to Do More program. And I do want to go over my specific protein and water commitments. I've said this before. Every single day, I'm trying to do my best to hit 1,800 calories, but the most important part is 165 grams of protein and 90 to 100 ounces of water. And protein and water is one commitment. So when you hit your protein goals, which is typically your body weight in protein, and I'm still not on my body weight in protein, I'm learning to eat more and more protein per day. You're not going to all of a sudden, if you weigh 200 pounds and you haven't been eating protein for years and years and years, you're not going to all of a sudden be able to eat 200 grams of protein. You're going to be totally full and not even able to do that. So part of the program is working your way toward that final protein goal, which is your eventual body weight. And you all know I have been losing weight along the process. I am still, as of today, down 18 pounds. It seems I've been about 18 pounds the last few weeks. I haven't gone up. I've kind of maintained. And Julie, prior to January 1st, I would have been upset with that. But Julie right now is not upset with that at all. I'm still smiling. I'm still happy because every single day I hit my 7 commitments and then I move on to the next day. And I know eventually that weight's going to go down more and it might plateau again. It's going to go down more and it might plateau again. And that's okay with me because I am committed to this process and not giving up. So that is the overall definition of Seek to Do More. Kind of the program in a nutshell to kind of give you more information about it, and the 7 daily commitments that we do every single day, and then my specific diet. So that was question number 1. Question number 2 is, what made you actually choose James as your coach? So this question is kind of easy. I actually chose James as my coach before I really knew the depths of the Seek to Do More program. So James and I have been friends, podcast, Instagram buddies since 2019. James has been on my show a couple times. And I started seeing these postings from James about his one-on-one coaching. And then he started posting about his various hiking programs, specifically for the Adirondacks, and his programs are even named after some of the mountains in the Adirondacks, like the Mount Marcy program. And then I saw a posting from James that showed his weight loss, his before and after picture. So over the course of 10 years, James has lost over 100 pounds. And that picture really hit home to me. I wanted my before and after picture, and I just didn't know how to take the steps to get toward that and living that and being that. So James put a post out. He had a couple openings for one-on-one coaching, and I knew I needed help. I knew I was not going to do this program on my own. And so I kind of do 2 things. I have James as a one-on-one coach, and within his coaching, I follow the Seek to Do More program. And I love the fact that James is currently living the program. He's 800 and something days into the Seek to Do More program. So that means over 860 something days, he has hit those 7 daily commitments. I love that. He's walking the talk and he's doing it. And the other thing is that he was a hiker, and I know he's completed all the 46 high peaks in the Adirondacks. I know he's a Lake Placid Niner. I hope I got that right. And he's just all things Adirondack Park. So that was another draw because I wanted somebody as a coach who understood hikers and what hikers go through. The next thing is, with James, I get daily text messages. We have a once a week Zoom call. He puts my daily physical workout commitment together, and I just do it. I don't have to think about it. So that is why I chose James as a coach. And also, he's a fellow podcaster. I mean, how could you get any better than that? A fellow podcaster, a fellow hiker, someone that loves the mountains, someone that loves the outdoors, and someone that is walking the walk and talking the talk. And y'all, it just made sense. James makes everything easy for me. I have a plan. I stick to the plan. We share things on social media. We have a private chat for all the women that are in the Seek to Do More program. There's also a private chat for all the men that are in the Seek to Do More program. And there's just a lot of benefits to having a one-on-one coach and following a specific program for me, because I don't know how to do any of that. I'm learning, or I should say I didn't know how to do any of that. And over these past 5 months, I have learned a ton. I'm still in the process. I'm totally committed, and I'm just going to keep going. So that was question number 2. Question number 3 was, do you ever want to quit? And my answer now, and I'm going to say has always been no. I've never wanted to actually quit the program itself. The program is a set of standards that you hold yourself to. That is never changing. Whether you do the program or not, the set of standards in the Seek to Do More program are never changing. But I will answer this question with, I did want to quit on myself. And I was so used to doing that. When things get hard, I just sit down and quit on myself and try to drum up and think up another thing that I could do to initially take care of the problem I wanted to take care of in the first place. I told this story during Jester's Redemption section hike, a series of 10 episodes. I don't know what day, that I tried to quit on James around day 30. And James was like, all right, well, let's just have our last call. So we had our last Zoom call. And what I realized during that call was, I was quitting on myself. I wasn't quitting on James. I wasn't quitting on the program. And I decided right there on that Zoom call, I think James has that call recorded. It would be interesting to see and listen to that call. When I realized, no, I'm not going to quit on myself. I'm not going to quit when it's hard. I'm not a baby. I don't quit when things get hard. I didn't quit, when I was climbing Katahdin and then had to come back down from Katahdin when I was finishing my section hike. And I'm just not going to quit this program. And so ever since day 30, not a thought in my brain has been, am I going to quit? In fact, my brain is probably so mentally clear. I'm probably moving too fast in my own brain, because this whole purpose of this getting in the program, getting the one-on-one coaching, was to get ready to hike this summer. And June 12th, I am getting ready to launch and go out on some summer section hiking. And that is here, and it's live, and it's now. And I haven't even done that yet. And I'm already thinking this fall, I really want to get into weight training, like really lifting weights and getting my body more toned and solid. I've never done that. So I'm already excited about what's going to be happening this fall. So I know I got to slow down and enjoy this summer's hike, which I am going to do, believe me, immensely. So I'm already gearing up toward what I'm going to be doing in the fall as well. So there is no quit in sight. All right, so that was question number 3. Question number 4, what is the hardest part of being on the program? Right now, there is no hard part of being on the program. But I will say the hardest part was the first 30 days. So in the first 30 days, James calls it the recalibration phase. So the first 30 days, you're learning and trying to eat your protein. You're drinking 100 ounces of water a day. I call it that you're just trying to figure everything out. And prior to the first 30 days, which for me was the month of January pretty much, I just really did not see food as a fuel source to fuel me to do my exercise and keep me fueled during the day so I could fulfill my 7 daily commitments, I saw food as a nuisance. So that first 30 days, for me, it was, I did know how many grams of protein I needed to eat. I didn't know what that looked like. I had to learn. I had to learn about the water. And I thought food was complicated. And what I learned in the first 30 days and carrying over to the next 60 days and then carrying over to the 90 days is food doesn't have to be complicated. For me, I've always been a plain eater. I love to grill. I don't need a lot of fancy in my food. And all of a sudden, the food made sense. Yes, I'm getting this. I need to fuel my body. This is what I can eat. This is what I can experiment with. This is what I need to do. So I guess to answer that question, what is the hardest part of being on the program? For me, it was the figuring out stage. It was that first 30 days. And to sum it all up, I think what I figured out is I overcomplicated it myself. So nothing has to be fancy. Just go through the steps, go through the motions. And you all have heard me on the podcast. I have had bad weeks. I've had bad days, but I still do the steps. So right now, there is no hard part to being on this program. This is my life. These are my standards. And I love having the daily goals. I love having the daily 7 goals. The next question was, what is the easiest part? The easiest part is just following the program. It's laid out for you. The hardest part is making the commitment to follow the program. And then once you do that, the easiest part is following the program. And then I can't even tell you what day it was. It became systematic for me. Like, it's what I do. Those 7 daily commitments of, let me roll back here to them. I'll put them to you in order of working out, the physical, the protein, the water, the reading, the education, like learning something new every day, the spiritual aspect, your hobby, hiking, that's easy, your relationships, working on your personal relationships. And that's been hard for me too. I can be very selfish. So you'd probably have to ask the people around me if I've been doing a good job on working on my personal relationships. But I know I've been very successful at my relationships at work. I could feel it. I could see it based around people's comments to me. And the people around me who are closest to me would tell you I'm really working on those as well. So let's see. Did you ever want to quit? Answered that. What is the hardest part of being in the program? Answered that. What is the easiest part? Just answered that. All you have to do is make the commitment to do it and follow the program and figure it out for yourself. Because what it looks like for me is not going to be what it looks like for you, even though we're following the same set of standards. And then let's see, what is something you did not expect? So I had to think about this for a moment. So the one thing that I did not expect is that this program overall gives me purpose, it gives me a mental drive, and it propels me forward. I am mentally stronger than I have ever been. And I 100% believe it's because of the completion of the 7 daily commitments on a daily basis. I love to have a purpose. I love to have a vision. And I actually love to have a job. I love to have something to do. So that is why this program works for me. It gives me purpose. It gives me a vision. And it gives me a job. It gives me something that I work toward every single day on a daily basis. And since January 1st, probably the number one thing that I have gained so far, and it's only been 5 months, is my mental capacity, my mental toughness. I'm on fire. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, when you're mentally clear, because I have not been mentally clear in 2 or 3 years. But when that mental clarity starts happening, your eyes open up to things, your eyes open up to people, your eyes open up to things you need to get rid of in your life, your eyes open up to people you need to get rid of in your life, and that's okay. Because to be mentally focused, those things have to happen. So for me, the number one thing I've gained and the number one thing that I was not focused on at all was my mental toughness. Because overall, what I was focused on in this program, or what I started off with, was I just wanted to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to fit in my hiking clothes. Well, that is all a byproduct now, because if you follow the commitments and you follow your protein and you follow your water, it's not going to be as fast as you want to. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not all of a sudden going to be this skinny little thing walking around with abs and all this kind of stuff. That takes time and that takes a process. And you couldn't have told me that day one. I don't know how James does it, because he knows the transformation that people are going to have, because he's seen it over and over, even in himself. But man, when you start realizing this and you have those phone calls with James, all of a sudden you're on fire, he's on fire. It's awesome. So the mental toughness has been awesome. I can give y'all another example. So yesterday I went to a retirement party for a teacher, or actually a counselor that I've known for a long time, retired this school year. And I knew that there was going to be food, desserts, all kinds of things at her house. And so yesterday, before I got ready, I had a good meal. Then I got ready, I went to the party, and y'all, it was crazy. There was so much food, it smelled good. There were crock pots of barbecue, and desserts, and chips, and dips, and I mean, one whole table of just desserts. And then another huge table of her congratulations, you've retired cake. I mean, food was all over the place. And at one point, there were so many people there, somehow I got spun around and I was talking to somebody, and I was actually in line to get food, and somebody handed me a plate. And I went through the whole line and I never put anything on my plate. And finally, when I got around the table, I just handed my plate to somebody else. And I said, oh, I didn't mean to grab this plate. I was just talking to so-and-so. And then I kind of spun myself into another room. So that is overcoming. That is accomplishing. And that is mental. There is no way I would have been able to give up that cake and those brownies and the the homemade Rice Krispie treats and everything else that was there that I can't even think of right now prior to January 1st. But y'all, I've got goals and I'm following standards, and I knew I wasn't going to break it. And I just set it in my mind I wasn't going to do it. I popped a piece of gum in my mouth right before I walked in the door. I did get me a diet soda and kind of had that in my hand. So I was kind of taken care of. I had the gum, I had the soda, so I kind of had something to chew on. I had something to sip when there were like down moments at the party kind of thing, and I just made it through. So the program, it's just given me purpose and given me a mental drive. And make that long story short of answering that question, what is something you didn't expect? That I did not expect. I did not forecast myself going to parties and being able to hobnob and have fun and not eat. Prior to January 1st, I just wouldn't have went to the party and made some lame excuse why I couldn't have been there. So I feel like over these past 5 months, if I really had to wrap it all up, that I have just sculpted my body, my mental, my spiritual, my physical into this set of standards. I've just sculpted myself into it. That's the only way that I know how to explain it. So hopefully you all have gotten something out of these, out of this Q&A, out of these questions. Again, I will wrap it up real quick. So question number one, what made you, or excuse me, that wasn't question number one. Question number one, what is the Seek to Do More program? Put a check on that. What made you choose James as your coach? Put a check on that. Do you ever want to quit? Answered that. What is the hardest part of being in the program? Put a check on that. And then what is the easiest part? Check on that one. And then what is something you didn't suspect or expect in the program? And then, just rounding this out, y'all, to, I just sculpted myself into this way of life, into this way of living. And having daily goals is vital, because I'm a person that likes to set goals, and typically I set them in the future. But when you have goals every day, that changes your life. And I wanted to round this episode out. Y'all know that our former guest, he's been on the show twice, Dr. Aaron Poshpissel, actually recommended the book to me, Atomic Habits. And I actually got done listening to the audio version of that book. And I wanted to let you know the next reading component for me over the summer is I actually want to read that book, because there were so many things as I was listening to that book that I wanted to highlight and add into my daily program, that I'm actually going to get that book. I'm going to read it over the summer. I'm going to make notes in the book. I'm going to highlight, and that is going to be for my reading component over the summer. I highly recommend that book because it really coincides with the 7 daily commitments and changing things in your life in micro components. And I will leave it at that. So I recommend that book. I appreciate y'all listening. If you all enjoy this Q&A, I will do another Q&A episode, maybe around 10 months, and then maybe to round out the year, which will be a full 1 year on the Seek to Do More program and having James as a coach. I like doing the Q&A episodes. I feel like it answers questions that you all have out there as listeners. So if you have questions in the meanwhile, send them over to me. I'll save them up. We'll get them answered. In the meantime, thanks for listening. Be safe out there, everybody, and happy section hiking.